A long, long time ago, there were two brick companies. There was the Red Brick Company, and then there was the Portland Cement, or it was another kind of brick. It used, I believe it was like a white brick, kind of. It looked like concrete, basically. But I had two different brick companies, and I think there was Red Brick Towns, and then there was Cement Towns, and there was Mixed Towns, or whatever. Later on, I decided that brick was not a good building material, or at least not. It was not effective. The walls had to be at least 3 feet thick to be strong enough for earthquakes, and anything over 2 stories was just plain crazy, pretty much. In order, there were optimum sizes for bricklaying, basically, to the way the bricks intermeshed and all that other stuff. But it was very complicated and very time consuming. I mean, it worked, and you could build great big towers out of it, and it was an okay building thing, but it wasn't that strong and it wasn't that safe. So at some point in time, I decided that rebar and steel was a lot more common at this point in time. That steel and rebar was much, much, much better. At these times, the old brick towns were recycled, basically, or at least a lot of them were recycled, except for the buildings that were stronger or better, or still in good condition. Because later on they started using originally I believe buildings were just stacked, and then they started using mortar inside of them. But I think this came after the red brick and the gray brick or white brick and the red brick. Which was the Portland Cement, basically, or it was a fine powder kind of like stuff, and the red brick. And you could mix them up together and add some more stuff, I think lye or something. There was a combination, I asked for a combination to be made to find a way to use these two, because otherwise there'd be great big huge piles of both red and white brick. But I thought that there'd be a way to kind of mix the two colors together and mix it together to make cement. And I think, anyway, I don't know the exact history of it. I just know I had two companies making bricks, and I first had one, then I had the other. I forget. I think I had red brick first, and then Portland Cement or white brick, or something. But basically, I had two brick companies, and later on, I decided to try and use these two together in a mixing pattern to kind of like tone down the redness or something like that. That might be why they associated communism with red, because all the buildings were basically red. Anyway, though, with red brick or whatever. Anyway, whatever. There was red brick and white brick, cement versus non-cement, cement versus clay brick. Basically, both kind of like clays. But anyway, though. So anyway, they were recycled and stuff, and lots of history. They were both my companies, made lots of money or whatever, lots of time passed. I was hugely popular, hugely successful. Made a lot of houses. 50 years, I guess. I don't know. And then they started making concrete and steel and stuff. Anyway, it's all just kind of like a dream for me and kind of like my ancient lost back history. But yeah, at one point in time, there were two different kind of brick companies, and they were very huge and very popular. And it was red brick and white brick, or gray brick, basically. Or, it's kind of like a green brick, I guess. Yeah, that's right. I think it was a green brick and a red brick were the two colors. And then they kind of mixed. So anyway, in a recycling program. I liked my green brick. I think it was green brick. It was green brick and red brick, maybe. Anyway, and then there was also white brick as well. That's right. There's green brick, white brick, and red brick. There are different colors of bricks, basically. And, there's no more history. There's no more, they don't exist anymore, of course. But it goes back to your ancient history. But just reminds me from looking at these because the proportions he's talking about is a recycling technique, basically, that they developed. Anyway, ancient history.